Morning, good morning. Monday, new week, new start, new stuff. Well, maybe not so new, but relatively new. I know it's a little bit before 8, but I'm up, I'm alert, and got my water, got my meds, everything's close by, so we're good. Okay, tweet. Let me do my tweet before I forget. I am really bad about that, so, and I don't have Poi this week to remind me. Poi will be gone for the week, as I understand it. Got some personal matters to tend to, so we wish her well while she is away, and hopefully the rest of you can behave yourselves while you're in the chat. Never fear though, Moobot is active, so he will try and get it all sorted if it becomes an issue. And of course, I got my notes on the commands in case somebody's needing a specific link or whatever. At any time, even when Poi's here, if you have something that you want to link, like say a specific picture or some such, feel free to whisper it to us, either her or me this week, since I'll be here by myself moderating. But and we'll be happy to put that into the chat for you. We just got it set up so that people can't just do links and stuff willy-nilly. I did have it that way in the beginning, and it kind of got out of hand at the start. But while most of us kind of behave, sometimes things can get a little out of hand. So it's just better to kind of leave it alone. Hey Bones, good morning. And I got your messages. Obviously, I like them. A pre-tour sounds like a good idea to me. That's preferable if it's convenient for you. If you would rather just send me a message via email or something, detailing whatever you want specifically mentioned, that's fine as well. But what I do when someone wants to give me like a pre-tour kind of thing, I just take a lot of screenies. It not only helps me kind of orient myself just before I actually tour the place, but I also capture any kind of information that they want to relay to me. I note that down. In fact, this is what I had for a Siskiy's place. It was like double-sided notes that I was following because I know it would be great if I could arrange it so that the builders of every house we toured was available on hand, or at least provided some kind of information to me. And there was a time when I tried to do that for some of my tours, like the very brief stint that I helped with a fan site. I did some like house tour / builder interviews. While that would be fantastic to get that for everybody, it's just not logistically convenient all the time because people have different hours than me. Some I know for a fact probably have left the game by now. It's just I happen to stumble onto their builds and they've long gone, and they're just not available for questions. And obviously they can't, not everybody can be here live to be able to kind of lead us around, especially for a plot like Siskiy's, where there was a lot of variation of path that you can take. And for me to be someone easily confused and gets lost, it's not always it's not always available to have a hands, someone to hold your hand through it. But if you suspect or you know that your house is in the queue and you want to provide some additional information, please feel free to reach out to me. I will try to make myself available for those kind of things when and if I can. Um, I know some have just done it in the past, and of course, I certainly welcome it for those that know that I'm planning to drop by in the future sometime. So if your house, as far as you're aware, is on the queue or you'd like it to be in the queue, of course, let me know. But if there's some additional information you want to provide, like a background story, if it's an RP plot, or maybe just some basic general info like how long it took you, uh, what was the favorite part of it, what was the hardest part, that kind of thing. Folks love hearing about that, and I'm happy to pass it along. It's just I don't make a habit of it because it's difficult to do that for every single place. I don't want folks expecting it, and then when I don't, then it's kind of a big disappointment. I just consider it a bonus if we get to do some of that extra information. So yeah, Bones, if and when you've got a moment, just give me a poke. Um, just give me a heads up if you want to have me stick around or something, because typically when we stream, I just hop off so that I can do all the uploading and stuff like that, and then I head off downstairs to tidy up and everything. So um, it might be harder to catch me in game lately because I kind of skedaddle after the stream. I've just been kind of keeping busy outside, uh, not literally outside, but outside the game. I've been keeping busy. So anyway, today I think we're going to not necessarily work on CBDC specific related. I mean, it's part of the CBDC plot that I'm putting together, but it's not really anything new or fandangled. We're just going to be working on some landscaping ideas. You'll see that I've went ahead and installed some pillars to be the lamp posts, and curved walls for some benches. I didn't really know how I was wanting to do it. I thought maybe I would have them further up, but I think it makes more sense to have them closer to the stage, especially since there's this whole open area that really isn't necessarily part of the stage. I guess it could be, but I'm considering the center part mostly. But maybe like if there was some music accompaniment, you could have, some players set up down here, and they would be between the viewers. But I'm hoping they're big enough. They seem to be. I'm not going to be putting any cushions or whatever. It's just going to be plain old benches. But figured, uh, you know, don't want too many. Four seemed like good amount. Um, but basically, it's just uh, oversized curved walls, and gradually size them up, lift them on, lifted them a little bit, just enough so that you don't see the actual wall part, you just see the trim, and that's what I'm using as the benches. It could have been curved glass, framed glass. It could have been any other color. I just like the Cassian look, so that's what I used. Okay, well, that sounds fine. This week is Dominion's tours anyway, and if we're wanting to catch it so that it's prepared for next week, Monday sounds fine. Um, just leave me a note when you want to try and get together, and I'll see about because if I know someone's looking for me in game, I'll make a point to stick around or be around more frequently. It's just when I don't have any specific plans in mind. I just kind of, I spend a little time in game and then I'm out. Okay, so as you can see, I've started laying in some trees. It's basically just the bramble bushes, and what I figured is I'm going to add in some kind of a ticket booth, or not necessarily like a lounge, but like a little park area right here. Maybe extend it out as far as, obviously we don't want this being visible or accessible where the underneath of the snowy hill is. And I'm trying to block off some of the view of this ugly pattern stuff. So I'm just kind of slowly creeping it up. Um, the side of this hill, and then I figure what I'll do is just kind of loop it around and just kind of box it all in. So it's going to be kind of almost like a weird figure 8 shape, hourglass shape, something like that. So that's what we're going to do. It's pretty standard, pretty boring, but it's, you know, a necessary step for getting things shaped like I want. Basically, I've just been, I've got like, it's the same bush, but I alternate how it's flipped for every other one. So like, you can see this one is got that little overhang on the one side. The next time I do it, it'll be the other way, that kind of thing. So like I go one back and I pick it up, and that's really good, like if you want to leave a real gap. Of course, I'm not leaving any gaps here, but it works out really well. I've used it on several other plots. For those of you that have been hanging around lately, you'll know that I used it on Cheryl's plot for the Pokemon stuff, and oh, I forget the other one. Dill's plot, the one that isn't necessarily open to the public. It's my little workhouse kind of thing. Oh, that's a shame. I don't suppose you have any spare, oh, what are they called? Protostar promissory notes? Or promissory, or however you pronounce that. Because that's how I did. I was like the Exonite for my Lobby Chervil. I don't remember what level she is. I want to say she's only like 11 or something. Um, I used promissory notes to get the rep up. I only ended up needing like 8 or so, I think. Well, that's unfortunate, but understandable. That's one frustrating thing about the core that is locked behind the reputation vendors. Unless you're doing regular contracts with your main, you don't pick up those. I think that's where the promissory notes come from. And unless you do that, then you don't have a big access. But that's something to think about. I don't know how many you get from the contracts. I don't. I want to say there's a chance for some every time you complete one, but I honestly don't remember. I just know I've accumulated some over time, and that's what I've been using them for. I've been waiting until there's something in like what is it, the little canary clusters, the yellow flowers and the clumps. I use those on Cheryl's plot too. I unlock those as well because I don't know. There's just some instances where you want specific bits, but I used it for that one and the Exonite, not the Exonite. Oh, I guess it was just the canary plants. I was wanting some yellow flowers besides the yellow ones you get on the housing vendor. No offense to the housing vendor, but he could really use some new stuff. So are you going to come up with a different idea, or which tree were you talking about? Maybe we can brainstorm an alternative. I have a suspicious feeling that a lot of people are going to be skipping out on this particular challenge too. I'm hoping that with the holiday coming up next month, that mood will change. More people will be willing to, because I think some are already doing that. So I don't guess I know what that is. Let me look that up. What? Ah, well, yeah, well, yeah, yeah. Because there's the yellow one, but it costs a lot of renown, and it's not exactly the right shape unless you got put two of them together or something. But then that'd be like 50,000 renown. I don't suppose you could use that. This doesn't look right. Oh, you're looking at the shape of the trunk. Well, that's unfortunate that it's gated like that. But definitely keep that in mind for any of you that are struggling with alts that need some kind of reputation unlocks. Consider working on your contracts on your main and earning yourself some promissory notes, because those do uh, help. Yeah, I was looking at it like, whoa, that's a lot. I'm not sure how much I have. Let's see. See, I barely could do the one without going. I'm pretty stingy with it until it comes to some, what as bad as I'll go, oh, I can afford a $100, 100 renown item, and then I'll like buy 15 of them, and that adds up really fast. And I don't realize that I'm spending on my renown. I haven't done contracts very much lately, so I'm hurting on that. I haven't been going, I just haven't been playing much. Like I said, I usually come in, do a little bit of building, and then I'm off. Part of it is uh, it's heartbreaking to see the guild in the state that it is. Everybody's kind of left and gone off to other things, and so it's depressing to come into the game belonging to a guild, but there's nobody online, nobody talking. I've even stopped posting in the forum because it's just, why bother? There's nobody really reading it. And the few that do, they're able to get it elsewhere. So I just kind of lost gumption on that. I'm gonna check and see from the tippy top. I don't want to see. Yeah, that'll work fine, I think. I know there's going to be spots where people can actually see past it, but we're just looking kind of like an overall. 6 months. Wow. I was lucky. When I got my copy, I happened to have enough on hand, but I did have to work it up my stockpile again because of it. Because and it's weird. It's just that one little detail. It's that little emblem on the piano itself that costs so much because it's like the bed or something. That's why it was so frustrating when they decided to change the. Whoops, that's not right. Some floaty trees. Fix that. when they changed the expeditions, because that was like my main method of obtaining renown steadily and in a good amount as a solo player. Because again, you know, even with the guild, I tend to play by myself. But it was, you know, having the guild, I was able to, you know, at least chat with people. But anyway, now that's not even possible. And the only other way that I was kind of semi-regularly obtaining renown was through discoveries. But as I said, I really haven't been playing much, so that's kind of been out the door. I even stopped doing the daily on the Palavar Point, which Melon's going to be upset about because I haven't been collecting pipes for him. But I was working on, you know, trying to. It's 50 renown per turn in, so 50 renown, not renown, reputation a day. It's going to take me months before I get access to any of that other Red Moon decor on the vendor. Because, you know, I don't raid anymore. And even if I did, it wouldn't be with the guild because they've stopped raiding, period. Everybody's moved off to other guilds to get their raiding fix. Yeah, you're so bad with those puns. Clever, but bad. Always a pun. Okay, slowly making a way around. This is how I make these little mini plots. I just avoid worrying about the landscaping for the entire place. I just box it in. That's easiest for me. Because you can see I get one idea for these trees and then I just slap it on every plot I have because it's so like a cheater way of doing it. Okay, can I raise those up maybe? Can. Let me check this. Sure. There we go. But this is like my go-to way of creating like pretending that the plot is encased in some kind of a forest thing. Easier than, I mean, you could do it with mountainous bits if you want, I guess, lots of rocks, but I have more fun with the trees or the faux trees. It's not really a tree, it's a bush. And I love it because it's also a way of keeping, you know, not only visually you don't see much beyond the trees, but also it keeps your visitors contained in. Now, I'm sure there may be some that'll find a way to either squeeze through, jump over, whatever, but um, that's just for the determined. For those that, you know, are really going to just visit the plot in the way that I intended, they're just going to see trees. Now, I could, in theory, box this round part up a little bit more and just create an archway here. That might be all right. Let's try that. Uh, Grab one of these. We'll get the archway situated first. Now, something I was kind of frustrated with is I wanted to like put down some grass because, you know, with this being a raised area, it doesn't pick up the clutter of the lower grasses that come on, you know, directly onto the plot itself. I was trying to find some grasses and stuff that I could use to kind of patch it in and like create a path like we've seen some of the other builders do. And there's no grass that really goes well with the Celestion look. Everything's all brown or the wrong kind of green. Unless I'm missing something, but it just seems like got no options that will work. I see how that works really good as an entrance type of thing. A little bit just to get it so it's blocking this in good. So there, you clearly see that there's a gap there, and that you need to go up it. And then you come out onto this nice little round area. I could, you know, snug it in even more if I want, but maybe we'll put something else here, concessions or something. You know, because this is like our kind of goofy, not drive-in theater, but, you know, walk-in theater kind of thing. Let's see. Need to box this in. Just a smidge. Was totally not. Almost got it all. Again, I'm thinking this would be like a little park area, I think. I don't know. Just kind of winging it right now. Not like this is part of the fairy tale or anything. So I have no guide. I have looked up some outdoor theater like examples just to kind of get an idea. But a lot of theirs is like the whole thing is like stone, um, where they have huge overhangs like an amphitheater. It's like a shell, half shell or something over the thing, and lots of like stadium lights and stuff like that. So mine's a little bit more basic, simplified. Okay, so again, I always, whenever I do something like this, I always check what it looks like from the start area. So, if I want to narrow this up so that it's more like there's this path here, then I would just pull some of these in a little inward so it's a little bit more defined. But I kind of like that it's a little open. And then you go through, and that's stage area. Like I said, could put some concessions up here, or uh, I don't know, a VIP box or something. Who knows? So probably the first thing we need to work on for this area is the ticket booth. Not sure what we're going to use for the ticket booth. I don't want it to be all flashy with like a lot of neon or things like that. I'm undecided if I want to make it so that, if an RPer wants to be the ticketeer, to leave it open, so that they can actually access it, and then unmanned, or if I want to put like more like an enclosed kind of thing with a bot inside it or whatever, because I tend to not use the mannequins or NPCs. I don't know. It's not like I'm anti NPC, but I just feels weird to use them a lot, and I don't tend to buy them or anything. But I wanted to, I want to keep it simple. I know that much, but I just don't know how simple. It could be just a box. It could be a dome of some sort. Let's see. Could use some cover park stuff. Did you have a good weekend, Bones? Or anyone else that happens to be lurking, listening? Mine was pretty uneventful. It was the last weekend of my husband's vacation, so he was moaning and groaning the whole time because he was like, I could use another 3 weeks. Like, we didn't really do much for his vacation. We just spent most of our time, goofing on games and watching movies and stuff. We didn't go anywhere. But part of that was because half the time I was sick, half the time our son was sick, and the rest of the time it was like cruddy weather and just, I don't know, not that great of a vacation. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the little dome looking thing. I don't remember what it's called. What is that thing? Oh, there it was. Oh, do you play, what is that? Star Wars: The Old Republic? My old Warcraft, World of Warcraft guild, that's where they moved off to. I still keep in touch with one. They actually play WildStar occasionally, um, but I think they're concentrating on Warcraft's Legion right now, which I have also been dabbling in. God, there's so much stuff to work on. It's like you get a little overwhelmed. And I completely forgot how to play my rogue, which I guess is fortunate since they've changed it all up. Now, instead of combat, I'm an outlaw, apparently. That was weird. And my husband, he's been getting into it with his priest, and he's been whining because a lot of the stuff he used regularly doesn't exist anymore. uh, I don't know, I guess a bunch of spells were removed or replaced or renamed or something, and he's all just totally upset about it because um, it's just, I guess it feels a little funky. But my previous guild, I was actually kind of like the mascot. They were a Czech Polish guild, and I didn't speak the language or anything. I knew a few words, just enough to kind of get by. But they all moved off to that. That's where they went with their rating. Um, and of course, they, extended the invitation for me to come with them. And it was like, no, I'm just not into that particular brand of stuff. So I didn't. I probably should have, because at least I would have stayed in touch with them a little better. But okay, what in the world? Uh, I'm just playing around here. I'm not really sure what I'm going for. Um, Maybe I should use a different piece for that. Is it the curved uh, half or full? Try this. Wow, this thing's all weird. Why it offsets. Probably gonna wish I used the full one. Oh, let's see. Do a dome, maybe? I have it. Well, crud. Yes, I do. As you can clearly see, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing with this, but this looks off, doesn't it? Thinking of like this would be where the sign is or something. I have a thought in my head and it doesn't quite work out the way I intend it. Um, well, if I rotate, a hollow dome. Whoops. Don't want to destroy it. Looks like a baseball cap. Seriously, that's what it looks like. So if you're looking for a hat, there's you a hat. I would probably make this a little bigger and send it out. So let's see, pillars. Granite's the right color, I think. Excuse me. Like on nothing there. So did you say that you were going to try and come up with a different idea or some other way to build the tree that you're wanting? Last week it was my nose itching, now it's my eyes. I think it's just allergies or something. Just nuts. Hmm. Well, I know you said you don't want anything to do with Hans Christian Andersen, but I'm not familiar enough with him to know which one um, is or isn't one of his. Oh. Which one what? Did I say something? I don't know. Oh, you mean which which fairy tale? Excuse me. I don't know. Just the usuals come to mind. Um, Let me see. Now there's the Alice in Wonderland, but we've seen so many of those. Yeah, I said I was trying to think of ones that don't have anything to do with him. Weren't you the one that said you didn't want to do one by Anderson? Or was it someone else? Maybe I'm thinking someone else. I get you guys so confused. Um, there's a lot I've never even heard of, like Boots Who Made the Princess Say That's a Story. Wait, what? Or Boots Who Ate a Match with the Troll. I guess Boots is somebody, a person, a thing. Apparently, Chicken Little counts as a fairy tale. Oh, really? I don't think we ever did any of that at school, but then my school's kind of cruddy anyway, so, or was. Okay, now for the box ins, I'm probably just gonna cheat and whoops, throwing away my. Probably don't do that things. The real way to do it would be, I guess, to use the exile floors. Gosh, oh, it's really dry. Oh. I don't think we did any kind of studies on fairy tales, period, though. I remember we did like poetry and stuff, and I loved poetry until they started having us analyzing it, like the whether it was iambic pentameter and the many ways that it could be interpreted, and that just kind of took all the fun out of it. Let's use floor. I'll just box it in. some reason my computer is really humming loud today. Can't be good. Usually so quiet. Now it sounds like the fan is really, I mean, it's dusting or something. We use the little stair step trick here. I'm just looking at size. It's too big or anything like that. Just checking. Let's see. Lighting. Handy dandy sconce. I'm trying to think of something I can line around here, but there's really no way to hide it, so I want to pick what we're going to use first. I haven't tried these lately. Do they give off a lot of light? A lot of. They're rather expensive. 15 gold a pop. Doesn't look like it's got a lighting buff. That's a shame. May have to make myself some lanterns or something that I can use. I could, you know, just use like the awning, the red shop awning. It's just that it's not curved. I want something curved. So let's just use the sconce light since I have one. That'll at least give it some. I don't know. Enter or anything. Wow, I forgot to close my curtain. Now the sun's coming out. I'm gonna regret not closing it. trying to get the right size. That'll work, I guess. And then, of course, you know, our usual travel posters for the little pamphlets. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you could use in place of that. Instead of always using that, but that's really the best thing. And typically I go for cheap, which is always the adventure awaits. But if you want something different, you know, there's your character has unlocked them. Now notice I'm on my main, so I have access to them because she unlocked them. But if I was on my alt, these wouldn't be there. So it has to be, if you're wanting to use a different style of one, then you have to be on the character that's actually unlocked it. We'll just use that one. Like that would be the play thing is the little pamphlet that's, you know, tells the actors and for each scene and that kind of thing. Like I said, I'm not wanting to get kind of too gaudy, so I'm not going to add like some neon signs, but you could, if you want, add like an announcement sign of like, maybe you want to spell out the word ticket or something on it. I don't know. You could maybe use an actual sign. Let's see. Like, see, that's got like a book, and maybe you want it to represent the fairy tales. It's 5,000. I'm not going to spend that on there, but that might be an option, especially if you use a solid dome instead of a hollow one like I've opted. Maybe you want the one, I think it's one you actually have to craft, that has the arrow pointing on it. Or even the hookah one, or some kind of a gold sign, kind of like I did with the bakery. You can do that. I just don't want anything that garish. You could put a register in here. There's lots of different register ideas we've seen in the past. Probably the quickest is using one of the display bits. Not sure if I have any on. This would be fine. Oh, it's the one, I actually think it comes from Reputation from like Grimvault or something, but the something 5,000 or 3,000 or something display, that's probably my favorite. The ergonomics keyboard, I think, comes from the same place. If you can't get a hold of one of those, I think uh, um, let me see. I think it was called Scanner, but it could be something else. Yeah, the body scanner. I want to say it was a craftable, but it might not be. If you happen to have one of these around and don't know what to do with it, um, it's a good alternative. Just need the keyboard. That's something. You really want to get cheap and simple. Probably the easiest would be like to craft one of the computer tablets, one of those propped. We've seen that. If you're really desperate for buttons, though, I would say I don't really think we have a whole lot of options that are just straight from the vendor. The detonator has some buttons. This one has some buttons and like little panels as well, knobs if you need them. No, wouldn't go with that. Electronics, electronics. That's just weird. Have you found a use for that? I have no idea. I would assume I would probably just enlarge it really big and just use the blue beam for something, but even that I'm not sure. This is another fave of mine because it's got like, it looks like a little calculator type thing. Yeah, it's probably the most. Yeah, a lot of these like specialized decor, I draw a blank because I have no idea what I would use it for. Notice I'm looking at it just to see if there's weird things poking out. See, that even kind of behaves like maybe it's a microphone or something. People waiting in line. All sold out, peoples. Look at this. This seems turned funny to me. Okay, so there's that, sort of. I think of something else I want to add to it, I'll probably do it. I mean, we don't have any like, oh, what do you call those? The roped thingies, the little, oh, what, I don't know what they're called. barrier things, the rope barriers. The closest I think we have is like the rope bridges. See, I don't know if I can get away with that. Yeah, it'll be a little weird. Like it's like I think that just looks odd. But like a rope barrier, but see like the ropes are turned funny, so I don't think that'll work. But like a queuing kind of system to keep it all sort of, I don't know, you'd have to like turn this just to get the ropes straight, and then you'd have to sink it to hide the wood. That might work, sort of. You have to leave a gap, something like that. Still a little weird. It's a little turned funny. And then you need something on the bottom for them to be attached to, because that looks weird with them sticking up like that. I don't know. We have other rope things. I mean, there is the fences that have some ropes if you want to do it that way, or you could just use some kind of fences as your little queue line kind of thing. So we'll give that some thought, kind of the queue. Maybe a little bit more defined path. Do we want torches and stuff kind of lighting the way, maybe? That kind of thing. We'll think about concessions or a VIP or something up here. And then of course we could work on a new scene or the downstairs for the actors room. You can see you kind of have to be standing just in the right spot to get this to work, because the hatch doesn't actually function. We'll decide what we're going to do on the inside. Maybe block it off like I did some of the others into a smaller room and just have like a dressing room set up in there. But I think that's what we're going to end on today, folks. I know it's kind of not a whole lot done, mostly just jibber jabbering, but got some things that need to be doing, so I can't hang on for as long as I probably would love to. Yeah, it's a really fun item, and it's cheap, and it comes straight from the vendor. I like using vendor items because, well, it's just handier when you're using something straight from there. But yeah, I mean, you could add some drawers and things. I mean, you can make it as detailed as you want. I think, for all intents and purposes, if I really want to keep this plot open and change out the ideas for the decorations on the stage, I would say keep most of the landscaping and any of the extras minimal. That leaves you more decor space availability for building the sets that would go on the stage. So again, I want to keep it simple, but nice looking at the same time too. So we'll finish up with that tomorrow, or continue on with it tomorrow. Thank you guys for dropping by. And again, Bones, just reach out to me when you want to try and hook up in game, and we'll get a little pre-tour going on your plot before next week, hopefully. In the meantime, good luck with your guys' projects. Again, we have the CBDC ongoing this month's theme is fairy tales. Uh, you know, it can come from the Brothers Grimm, Hans Christian Andersen, Lewis Carroll, this bunch. There's just a bunch. It can be an obscure fairy tale as long as, you know, I can Google it up. You know, if you tell me, okay, it's from this fairy tale, and I can Google it and kind of read about it and then understand better what your project represents in regards to that particular fairy tale. Uh, that's perfectly fine. It doesn't have to be one that everybody knows. Um, but we will be having the showcase for the CBDC on the 30th of this month. And of course, this Wednesday we have house tours coming up. Those are every Wednesday. This week's turn is for Dominion, I believe. I'm thinking about doing some reworking as far as who we visit each week. I may just make it, you know, whoever I happen to have a hold of. So we might end up, you know, with more exile visits than Dominion, since there are fewer Dominion plots that are actually ready. I have lots on both sides that are queued, but most of them are set at work in progress. So it's starting to get slim pickings, especially on the Dominion side. So I may just combine it in, and maybe that will open the door to a possible expansion into NA side of things. I know Uni and them are also doing NA house tours, but since mine is a little different setup than theirs, I don't think that would be too much of an intrusion or unwelcome kind of thing if I decide to branch out to NA. Again, this isn't happening yet, but I'm considering finagling things around so that maybe we would alternate between the regions each week rather than the factions, and just whatever faction happens to be available, you know, whatever house happens to be available, regardless of what faction, then that'll be where we visit. We'll just see how it goes. I'm just not really sure yet, but I think that we are going to make at least a change as far as maybe we won't specifically alternate between the factions on Jabbit anymore. It's just going to be who's ever is available and ready to go. So we'll aim for Dominion this week, and if I can't grab enough, then we might throw in some exile homes as well, just to kind of round it off, because I like to have at least about 3 minimum to kind of look at. I have done up to 5 before, but usually that's because some of the houses are not less, but just the theme is such that there's not a whole lot to talk about. You know, it's kind of narrowed, and maybe not as much custom building as, you know, the theme is great, but the custom building is less so, so I don't have to like name, you know, thousands of items just to get through it and all. So yeah, just a heads up about that. As far as everything else goes, I don't think there's any kind of, I mean, there's the new decor packs on the cash shop, if you haven't heard about those yet. There's the one for the Red Moon bar, and there's also the waterfall decor pack. I saw a few people experimenting with those. I have purchased one, but I haven't gotten my hands dirty with them yet. I think the only thing I tried placing was the glitter flies or whatever, and they're like so tiny, you almost don't even notice they're there. And now that I placed it, I can't figure out how to move it. I mean, I have to actually go through the place decor list to locate it again, because there's no like little editor box that pops up. So I don't know. Either that or I'm blind and it's there and I just don't see it. But So yeah, just some extra goodies to be on the watch for. Of course, they've already been teasing some of the new fall decor. We have already have some of the green topiaries available through the housing vendor as well, and they're already kind of sneak peeking the fall versions of those. They're more orange brownish in color, and of course we have Shades Eve presumably coming up uh, pretty soon. So get your thinking caps on for that if you want to take advantage of any event that's going to be going on. I assume all of that's going to be coming back, but then again, it could be just new stuff all around. I have no idea. I hope for both actually, a relisting of the ones, items that we got last year, like all the gourds and things, but I also would like to see some new stuff, something an extra incentive to participate in case you've already gotten everything that you want from there. But yeah, so enough of the rattling. Good luck with your builds. Have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.